Here's a Hoover steamer which came to the workshop with, well, no steam really. The light was on, appeared to be getting hot, the pump was running, all the switch gear seemed to be working okay, no leaks. So hopefully this one's a nice and easy fix. There's very little coming out of the end there where all the tools attached to, so with any luck it should be a fairly straightforward fix and hopefully a blockage. If you're thinking of taking one of these apart, obviously it goes without saying, disconnect from the mains, drain all the water first. You do only need a basic toolkit to take one of these apart, probably a flat blade screwdriver, little Phillips head screwdriver there, a pair of pliers might be handy, and you've just got casing screws just all the way around the side here. Don't worry about this, that's for a tool I believe, and this is just part of the handle. So just 6 screws in the body, there you go, 3 each side, releases the housing there to come apart. Here we've got the inner workings of a Hoover handheld steamer. They're pretty simple. Think of it as an iron really, but instead of ironing clothes it kind of chucks a load of steam out the end of that nozzle. Now this one came into the workshop with a bit of a problem in that it wasn't steaming really at all, even though the pump was running, that little chap there. And the heating element inside was also getting nice and hot. You'll notice there's a little thermostat just on there with the 2 black connectors on it too, but still no steam coming out. So the first thing to do really, I guess, is to check all of the rubber connections, all the little hoses. We knew this one was actually alive, so, and the pump was running, so really it must be down to a blockage or a hose that's collapsed maybe. Now this little hose here had actually slightly pinched, so I've removed that pinch just to check all the water was getting down to the boiler. You'll notice these are just held in place with little spring clips there, like a mini Jubilee clip I guess, but without the screw. But what we found was the jet, which is held in place with a couple of screws there, which then comes through the other side there, just about make it out in shot, just about, seemed to be blocked. So the only way of getting at that was to, obviously I've disassembled this whole unit. There's the lid that you'll see or be familiar with. This one's totally unscrewed with these little Phillips screws over here, so pretty much a simple toolkit required. Just a little posi drive there, or Phillips flat blade, a pair of pliers, everyday household tools. So perfectly within the scope of doing this at home. But as I said, you will need to take these clips out to remove the heater, and then this bit here slides out, and you'll be able to descale it. And in this case, that was the problem. This little area here was full of scale. The water in Sussex is quite chalky, so that was the problem. So all we've done here is remove this part, descaled it, put it back together again, and the unit's up and running again. Now this might be a bit belt and braces, but what I have done here is just put a little bit of sealant around this gasket here. There was a gasket here, little rubberized plastic gasket, but this one's gone quite hard and brittle with age, so I've just popped it back in there. But in the likelihood of never actually getting that gasket from Hoover, I've just used a little bit of blue gasket paste, automotive blue gasket paste, that should form a good uniform seal. I guess the idea here is if you overfill this or spill water, it could get inside the mechanism and do all sorts of nasty things. So a little bit of gasket paste there just to make that final seal. You could use bathroom sealant, silicone there, it would achieve the same thing.